Hello, everybody. Here we are with another edition of Biology in the Basement, Overalls edition, where you teach the class. I think this is the last one that I have to do. Sorry, Andrew, I just lost your slideshow in the shared folder, and I apologize. So let's get this one going so that we can wrap this up and you guys can finish your objectives and share them to me. So let's have a fact of the day so that we can get started. It turns out that Detroit holds the record for the most Olympic bids. And if you didn't know this, Detroit has never hosted the Olympics. So it also holds the record for the most denials of Olympic bids. So maybe they feel a little bit better right now knowing that the Olympics have been postponed for a year and Japan's just going to have to wait like they do. All right, anyways, mollusks. What are they? They are in a group called Mollusca. They are invertebrates. They don't have any segments to their bodies like the crustaceans and arthropods we've been talking about, but many of them have an external shell in some way, but not all. This is their classification. As you can see, we're talking about a phylum. Okay, so this is a relatively broad group. A lot of them have been classes that we've been dealing with, like the class Aves and Pisces and Reptilia, Amphibia, Mammalia. Those are all a little bit more specific. But I like to do just a nice broad definition of what mollusks are. And there's quite a few of them. Bivalves, meaning they have two shells. We have the cephalopods, which are some of the smartest invertebrates, and the gastropod, which actually means stomach foot. So there's 85,000 species of mollusks, ranging from clams, snails, slugs, all the way up to the squid, the octopus, and don't forget the nautilus. Very, very interesting group of species, the nautilus. I would check them out sometime. Anyways, those are your examples. Those are some diagrams. There's a nautilus right there. Very good, Andrew. But as you can see, not all of them have shells. So don't think of just clams when you're thinking of mollusks or snails. And don't think that mollusks are just found in the oceans or freshwater ecosystems, because we've got a couple land dwellers. So like we said, they live usually in water. There are some on land. Most of them are found in the ocean. If we were to give you a brief description there, is as far as eating, they're mostly herbivores, decomposers, things like that. But as we know, some of the larger mollusks will eat live prey. Here is a nicer diagram, sorry Frank, of how we can look at these groups using our cladogram, right? Looking at phylogeny in how these species broke off as far as evolutionarily. Because even though you might think that these guys would be closer in relation to some of these guys, they're actually closer in relation to the regular earthworm. So that's a good diagram, Andrew, showing the phylogeny, which is also going to be on your test. Special adaptations. They've got all kinds of things, right? Shells. If they don't have a shell, they have this thing called a mantle, which is like a kind of like a ear underneath their skin, giving them somewhat of a structure. Cartilage. We've also got these things called a radula, which is like a chainsaw tongue that can help them to dig through clams and things like that. All right, let's talk about systems now that we've gotten all the stuff out of the way for me. Right, they are multi-celled. They are invertebrates. They have no skeleton. Um, and they have an open circulatory system with a simple heart. They do have a continuous digestive system. It does go in one end and come out the other, so that will cover your digestion, circulation. Respiration is mostly by gills, but of course, slugs and snails get their oxygen through their skin. Good old diffusion. Here is another nice diagram kind of showing how it is continuous, right? In one end, out the other. There's the gills, there's the heart. Those are the most important internal structures, right? Okay, let's see. Sensory organs, what do we got here? Let's talk. Sensory organs are very widely ranging. Some have the five senses, some can't see, some can't smell, so you can just write it varies for the sensory organs. On to reproduction. They reproduce sexually. They do have male and female parts, but they do not reproduce with themselves. They are egg layers. They have external fertilization, and they do not nourish with milk, nor do they commonly care for young. Some will, most do not. Here is a great example for your final column of the spreadsheet, the giant specific octopus. These are the ones they're talking about when you're like, ah! You know, most octopi are very small and more dangerous because many of them are poisonous. Another interesting fact about the octopus and their species. So we'll save the video for later. Thank you, Andrew. And this is Andraco signing off officially from Biology in the Basement. The next video I'm going to make right now is going to be on the human body because we're moving on. So get those objectives in, share them to me, get credit because it's time to change units. All right, signing off.